Well, it may not look much, but that could be the rock that won the Second World War. British armed forces used it as target practice from both land and air before launching the successful invasion of North Africa. And if they were the bravest of the brave, here in Malta, we're looking for the strongest of the strong now. In fact, the strongest man in the world. The winner of Heat 3 was Jani Virtanen of Finland. Joining him in the final, Sven Karlsson of Norway. So these are the 6 men into the final of the Metrex Trophy, but who'll join them from today's heat, Heat 4?
My name is Lee Bowers. I'm representing Britain in this heat. I got to the final last year, but this time it could be even tougher. First up is Torfi Ólafsson, the biggest man in the event, another finalist from last year and definitely a favourite to qualify. Hugo Girard, he's young and he's very strong, beaten out of the final by Jukka Hala last year, but this year rates his chances very highly. Ken Brown, very highly regarded across the Atlantic, lacked experience in 1997, but coming back this year, very confident of qualifying. Hubert Dörer, it's his first time at World's Strongest Man, but in 1998 he was European powerlifting champion and 4th in the world. Regin Vagadal, a finalist in 1996, and he spent the last 3 years specifically training for this event. And then there's me, Lee Bowers. I came a disappointing 5th in Britain's Strongest Man, and I feel it's now time to prove I belong here with the best in the world.
So just to remind you, 6 more events, 6 more athletes, but only 2 of them are going to make it through to the final. The fish update, still no luck, so I've got to disguise. And while I'm being invisible, our 6 strong men are going to be dragging sledges, chopping, trucking, weighing anchor, advanced parking, and at the end, it's a load of chains and anchors and tyres and balls. And here we are at the harbour to kick things off, commentator Paul Dickinson.
The very first event, the tough carry and drag on this course down at the harbour. And I suppose if there was a favourite in this heat, it would have to be Torfi Ólafsson of Iceland, who's made this final before. But this is Regin Vagadal from the Faroe Islands.
From Austria,
Hubert Dörer from Austria. The very first time we've seen him in World's Strongest Man. Hugo Girard of Canada, this massive policeman. A promising competitor and a real threat to Torfi Ólafsson, carrying on Iceland's tremendous tradition in World's Strongest Man. Ken Brown of the United States of America. And finally, Lee Bowers from Colne in Lancashire, representing England.
Ready.
Douglas Edmonds sends them on their way. First of all, this 100-kilogram ball. And Torfi Ólafsson struggling a bit. He's in the lead just ahead of Regin Vagadal. Vagadal gets it down first, sprints back for the next object. Another 100 kilograms of Maltese cross. And Vagadal breaking out into a walk this time. Girard is up there as well. Girard head down, charging towards this sled. Vagadal puts the Maltese cross and it's now fully laden and it weighs about 300 kilos. In a previous program, Jukka Ahola said this was desperate, trying to drag it across the cobbles here on the harbour. Now, come on, Lee Bowers, you've got a bit of work to do. Ken Brown, the American, is ahead of him. So is Torfi Ólafsson. Girard and Regin Vagadal almost neck and neck. It would be a tremendous feather in his cap if Hugo Girard could win this first event. The clock ticking away, the time limit 75 seconds, and Regin Vagadal has come to a grinding halt. I think Hugo Girard's going to win this one. He's just checking on everybody else. Ken Brown's coming through just a little bit. That is it. Hugo Girard gets 6 points and victory in the carry and drag. Lee Bowers down in 6th place. Very disappointing for the Briton.
You know, first event, I've warmed up now, so as I say, I've got to be positive. It's just the beginning of the competition, you know.
Maybe you could ask to do it again.
Well, I probably would do better, but like I say, your body just has to warm up, it takes time. So.
Okay, just tell us what it is that's so tough about that event.
Well, the carry in itself is not bad, the drag in itself, but when you combine the two carries with the drag, so you're pre-exhausted when you go to pull that heavy sled, that makes a big difference.
So it's not just about brute force, it's about overall physical well-being.
Exactly. It's about being athletic. You need the force. That's for sure. You need the strength, but you need the wind to go with it. That kind of event. I could see him all the time, but I didn't hear the time because there was more left for me. But I had an advantage. Then he came, and then the whistle boom. So bad luck for me.
I'm very pleased because last year I was last in this event, so I must be learning something.
Well, the big man came in 4th in that opening event. First blood, though, to the Canadian, Hugo Girard. Well, everybody's used to strong men pulling trucks, but as we're here in Valletta, we're the most natural deep-sea harbour in the world, the obvious thing to do was to get them to pull a ship. And we have a ship here, and we also have Torfi from Iceland. Lots of ships in Iceland, of course. Fancy pulling this?
Stundum þessi strák alveg hrikalega vitlaus. Þetta ekki hægt, ég farinn.
Okay, you win, no ship. Truck pulling, what's the secret of being good at this? Because you won it last year.
Yes, I won it last year, but I think there's no secret about it. It's a mix of everything, but I think I have the kilos and I have the pounds to pull the truck. So the secret about it is stay low and try to hold the rhythm from the beginning and always try to speed. Put more speed into it when it goes all the way.
He certainly has got the kilos, 160 of them altogether. Torfi Ólafsson, probably the favourite for this event. At first, though, it's Lee Bowers. Only 1 point from the first event, so the man from Lancashire has got to go well here. It's very, very hot here in Malta. He's got the cap on, we can't see his eyes, but his legs are beginning to drive now. Pulling on the arms as well. Lee Bowers weighs about 20 stones. That's about 4.5 stones lighter than Torfi Ólafsson. And he's got a good rhythm going here. Being shouted on by the crowd. This is certainly the toughest competition Lee Bowers has ever faced in any strongman competition. He's going to set the pace for all the rest. And that bumper has to go over the finish line. He's going to finish the course, but the crucial thing is the time, 43.16. Good effort. But there's still 5 very strong men to come.
But that seemed as though it was going to be a pretty good time for Lee Bowers, because Dörer could only manage 47.9, Brown 45.69, but Vagadal beat his time, 42.06. There are still 2 men to go.
Torfi Ólafsson, rather like Joe Onosai in one of the previous programs, well equipped for this event, weighing over 24 stones. Oh, having a bit of a problem with grip there, and he mustn't stand on the rope either. Oh, he's gone again. Well, nobody's complained about the grip on this surface in the harbour. But Torfi Ólafsson now beginning to get up ahead of steam. The fastest time so far, 42.06 by the Faroe Islands' Regin Vagadal. And now the man from Iceland making it look so easy. This is going to be a very fast time. Can he get below 40 seconds? It would be remarkable if he could. He's done it. 38.88 seconds, and that is going to take a lot of beating.
You said you wanted to keep low, but you didn't have to fall over.
I stepped on the rope. That's a mistake.
39 seconds is good?
38.
38 seconds.
Well, not quite as heavy as Torfi Ólafsson, but as we saw in the first event, very strong, very mobile as well. Hugo Girard, well, he clocks in at 333 pounds body weight, and that's pretty massive. 22.5 stones. 17 tons of truck being dragged down the harbour. The target, 38.88 seconds. 2 victories in a row would be tremendous for Girard. Well, if he doesn't win this year's World's Strongest Man competition, a lot of people wouldn't be surprised, but he's certainly a name to watch out for in the future. Canada's strongest man, driving forward. Is he going to be close to Torfi Ólafsson's time? It's just outside. He could go into second place, though. He certainly has. 40.41. Another tremendous performance by the Canadian.
Just for a moment, I thought you might come second in that.
Yeah, I mean, obviously it's a difficulty with going first. The truck does tend to run a little smoother as the competition goes along. I had hoped for, obviously, not to end up in fourth place, but obviously it's a little bit of an improvement on the first event, and I've got some good events to come, so I'll keep on fighting.
Well, after a promising start, it rather trailed away there for Lee Bowers, just the 3 points for him in that second event, and that means he's back in 5th as Girard, Vagadal and Ólafsson go head-to-head at the top. Tell me, in the Faroe Islands, are there many people who do strong men?
One.
You?
Everybody knows me. That's
Really?
true, yeah. I'm getting stopped on the street and everywhere and autograph all the time. And it's only 45,000 people, so.
If you get to the final, what sort of reaction would there be in the Faroe Islands?
They make the main news and that stuff. So. Probably we make the main news after this one, because I'm sure gonna be second, maybe first after this year.
Well, good luck, and
Thanks.
let's hope you're on the news bulletins. And so down to the seaside, the lovely Golden Bay, the loading race, everything heavy, awkward, and you've got to stick it all on that wall.
Regin Vagadal and Lee Bowers to go next, although Ken Brown and Hubert Dörer of Austria have already taken their attempts, and Brown leads at the moment. He loaded all 5 objects in 64 seconds.
Timekeepers, ready.
Well, believe me, Regin Vagadal is a big star in the Faroe Islands, and he goes off like a rocket. Lee Bowers as well, that 100-kilogram sack on the highest part of the wall. 64 seconds is the target for both men. Now the barrel at 105 kilos. Regin Vagadal is very deceptive. He weighs about 20.5 stones. Lee Bowers, he's another 20 stoner, just under 6 feet tall, and that giant log, oh, it's a bit awkward. 110 kilos, and Lee Bowers just moves ahead. He glances across at Regin Vagadal. Oh, don't drop that 105-kilogram anchor on your foot, son. It's going to hurt like crazy. A little bit of thought needs to be put into that, and Vagadal has moved ahead. The clock is ticking away. Vagadal, he's got to get the whole chain. Every one of those 240 kilograms onto the platform. A chance perhaps for Lee Bowers to catch up. It's going to be very close, but Ken Brown in the United States is still in the lead. And Vagadal just beats Lee Bowers. Lee Bowers, that final part on there, just outside 64 seconds. So perhaps disappointing for Lee Bowers. He does need big points here. Torfi Ólafsson heads down towards the wall along with Hugo Girard. And referee Dougie Edmonds, the inventor, I suppose you could say, of many of these events. Refereeing here as always.
Timekeepers, ready.
The 2 biggest men in the heat now go for it. 64 seconds for all 5. Hugo Girard threw that sack up on his shoulder. That was fantastic. That was almost making it look as light as a basketball. And so does the barrel as well. That weighs about 16 stones. Torfi Ólafsson is behind. That's the way to do it. Now, what are they going to do with the anchor? That's caused problems to everybody else so far. Oh, it proves a problem for the Canadian. It's on safely, and Ólafsson, if anything, is catching him up. 240 kilos, over 500 pounds. They've still got 20 seconds to beat Ken Brown, and surely both of them will beat the American. Girard has won it. That is a brilliant performance, his second victory, and Torfi Ólafsson in second place. Beginning to develop as the two favourites to go through to the final.
That was a good race, that, Torfi, wasn't it?
Yeah. I was surprised how good how fast I was.
Yeah?
For a fat guy.
What about the events coming up? Are they good ones for you or bad ones for you?
I don't think there is good or bad events. Every event you got to give your best, and you just hope your best is good enough.
You were like Maurice Green, you know, the world sprinting champion running across there. Is this a new fitness regime?
It seems to be working.
So you feel like a new man?
Yeah, and look at him breathing. I have 50 kilo more than him. Look at me. I'm like a child compared to him.
He's fit.
Fit enough. Second place behind Girard for Ólafsson. 4 men managing to lift all 5 objects. And the Canadian leads now 3 points clear of the Icelander. Vagadal back in 3rd place. Well now, for the first time ever in World's Strongest Man, an exercise that we can all do at home. This axe weighs the same as a case of 24 cans of beer, and we can all lift one of them up. The problem comes in that you have to fully extend your arm and hold it there for as long as it's humanly possible. And then there's a second one. You try it.
Ken Brown has done pretty well in this competition so far. He's accumulated 10 points. He's down in 4th place. And if anybody is equipped to do well in this event, I suspect it might be the American. He's got massive shoulders and arms. Trying to block out everything except concentrating on keeping those 12.5 kilo axes at arm's length. And he's got to keep the arms straight as well, otherwise he'll get disqualified. They're locked onto little bits of wood up there which are connected to buzzers. So the referee, well, all he's got to listen out for is a sound, and that means the contest is over. But Ken Brown is over 30 seconds. He's going well. He's struggling just a little bit. The right arm, then the left. He's just checking. Come on now, keep it going. Heading towards 50 seconds. Oh, fantastic effort. Ken Brown 51.19, and believe me, that is going to be very hard to beat indeed. Tremendous effort by the American champion.
Well, it was purgatory for Lee Bowers. 40.4 was his time. It was tough for Dörer. 44.09 for him. A bit easier for Vagadal, though you wouldn't know it from that face. 47.81. And much harder than he thought for Torfi Ólafsson, 40.47.
Hugo Girard, the last competitor, and still Ken Brown, the American, holding the lead at 51.19. Nobody's come close. Regin Vagadal, 4 seconds behind in 2nd place at 47.81. Lee Bowers once again a little bit disappointing, just scraping over the 40-second mark. Well, at the moment, Hugo Girard looking absolutely rock solid, just checking both sides. 58 inches around the chest, 23.5 inches around his biceps, and that is bigger than most people's legs. Well, he's certainly put his stamp of authority on this competition already, leading by 3 points overall before this event, ahead of Torfi Ólafsson, who didn't have a particularly good time in this contest. He's ahead, he's gone ahead of Ken Brown, and he's still going. Struggling, we thought, but it's a good performance. His left arm is dropping a little bit. And he's won, he's over 60 seconds. And surely now he can begin to look forward to a place in the final. Oh yes, I think he enjoyed that, if that's at all possible. Absolutely phenomenal by the Canadian.
And how did the last 10 or 15 seconds feel?
Like an hour.
A good result for Girard, a bad result for Lee Bowers, and sneaking up on the rails now, Ken Brown. How do you view the group now?
It's tight. It's still a fight for first, and I feel like I got as good a shot as anybody.
The last 10 seconds there, your face was a picture. Just describe what you were going through.
I was fighting for everything I had. Just yelling and fighting and shaking, whatever it took.
Well, first place might be beyond him, but it's between Ólafsson, Vagadal and Brown now to actually make it through to the final as well. Well, the next event is a very familiar one. It's the deadlift hold. You have to hold the car up for as long as is humanly possible. And how about this for a front row with a 25-stone hooker? And these three guys are going for one place in the final. And Ken, you've almost come back from the dead, 9 points in the last two events. So how are you feeling about this one?
I feel like it'll be a pretty good event for me. Just going to give it all I got and see what happens.
And of course, these two big guys are going against each other. And of course, Iceland and the Faroe Islands are not great friends, Torfi, are they?
Give us a kiss.
From Faroe Islands, Regin Vagadal.
And so it's head-to-head in the deadlift hold. 3/4 of a ton of car on each side of the platform. Ólafsson up against Regin Vagadal, the Faroe Islands' most famous export over the last few years, on 16 points each at this stage in the competition, so it's all to go for. Well, both men just a little bit unsteady as the clock starts, but now looking rock solid. Lee Bowers has already taken his effort. It was a very good one too, 71 seconds. And that is what Ólafsson and Vagadal have got to beat. Look at Ólafsson. He's trying to stare out Vagadal. Vagadal is having nothing of it, just staring at the ground. You can't believe how composed they both look. The weight of that car bearing down on their shoulders and their back. And the grip is going to hurt like crazy. Well, that's some rear view. If you saw those two guys coming towards you in a car, I'd get out of the way. But Ólafsson on the right-hand side, 25.5, 26 stones. And he's moving well in this competition. He's moving through to a possible place in the final. But one thing's for sure, he's going to have to beat Regin Vagadal. And to beat him here would do his chances of making the final. Once again, the power of good, but Ólafsson is struggling just a little bit. They've gone past Lee Bowers. Both of them are in the lead, but which one is going to take pole position? Vagadal's gone. 79.97 and Ólafsson over 80 seconds. 2 men to go. And Ólafsson obviously in pain, but Iceland are in the lead. Vagadal perhaps suggesting it was his grip that went. It certainly was, and that means Ólafsson has got a big advantage going into the last event. The last 2 men to go up onto the platform and try and keep these cars aloft. Hugo Girard on the right-hand side, and Ken Brown, in terms of stature, well, very much smaller. But what a surprise package he's been, looking for a place in the final. Before this event, Brown 1 point behind Vagadal and Ólafsson, so he must beat both of them to have a chance. You can't leave it until the last event to make a rush for that place in the final. Girard looking rock solid. Another big test coming his way, but so far, so good. 81 seconds, the target for both fellas, and especially for Ken Brown. Girard has got a big points advantage at the moment, 7 points ahead of his closest rivals. Ken Brown has got a massive background of deadlifting and squatting and bench pressing. Incredibly strong in the gymnasium, but how strong is he here? Over a minute. The pain is excruciating. He's beginning to bend at the waist just a little. Girard is keeping it going. He's keeping his composure. Oh, he's gone. Ken Brown has not beaten Ólafsson, and that could be significant. Girard has gone into the lead. Another 6 points for the Canadian. And another bit of showboating. What was the time, he says to the official. He knows now he's won it, and surely he's into the final as well.
Well, Girard can maybe take his foot off the throttle now, but for Ólafsson, Vagadal and Brown, it's going to go down to the wire. Just 3 points between them. As for Lee Bowers, well, he's just competing for pride now.
The familiar sight for the final event. In these heats of World's Strongest Man, the harbour, the sun is setting over Valletta. And the sun is setting over the chances of 4 of these guys to make it through to the final. Hugo Girard in the lead comfortably, but the big battle is between Torfi Ólafsson, second from the right-hand side, and the man just inside him, Regin Vagadal. 300 kilograms of tyre, flipped twice. Torfi Ólafsson and Hugo Girard going well. Vagadal's got some catching up to do. Essentially, all that Torfi Ólafsson has to do is to stay ahead of Regin Vagadal to make it through to the final once again and continue Iceland's challenge for the title. Now comes the anchor. Oh, Ólafsson's gone down, and that gives a chance for Regin Vagadal to come through. Could we see a dramatic finish here? It's all down to who can pull the chain the fastest. And can Vagadal... Oh, Vagadal's dropped the chain. He's given up. And that means Ólafsson will make it through to the final. Girard and Ólafsson go across the line together. What on earth happened to Regin Vagadal? He's absolutely disgusted. Lee Bowers can't finish. Hubert Dörer finishes now. It won't make any difference to the result, though. Tremendous for Ólafsson and Girard.
It was very easy, wasn't it?
Yeah, kind of.
No, it was pretty tough, especially when you have a favorite salad on each side and try to look both sides at the same time. That was very difficult.
Certainly fell over.
Yeah.
But you're obviously pretty relieved to have got to the final.
Oh yeah. Now the fun starts.
And your form, you're in tremendous form, aren't you?
Not bad. Not bad.
Good enough for second place, Girard there behind Ólafsson. And they are the two who make it through to the final. The Canadian had a 7-point cushion over the rest of the field. And now we know who 8 of the finalists for this year's Metrex trophy are going to be. Just 2 more to find. Well, Hugo, fantastic to get to the final. Well done. Obviously, a vast improvement on last year. You must have been particularly pleased with your performance at the Crucifix. But I wonder if you've got a few moments to talk about fishing, because I had an amazing day today. I got that close to catching this thing. It was huge. It was...
Heat 5 of the World's Strongest Man is tomorrow afternoon at the early...
I'll be back.